Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Make Art with Mrs. M. As you can see here today, I have shared something special, something new that I learned. I love learning about art and different crafts and different ways to make beautiful things with my hands. This is needlepoint or needlework or stitching. And I got to do this a couple of days ago with some friends. Someone I know was showing us all how to do all of these stitches. There was an outline that was imprinted on these aprons, and we got to choose whichever colors we wanted and go for it after a few instructions about the steps for how to do everything. You'll see there's this circular loop. It's called a hoop. It's an embroidery hoop. So whenever you're doing cross stitching or needlework like this, you would use an embroidery hoop. It stays on because on the back where it's messy, you can see there's a second hoop. This one is fixed. There's no breaks in it. Whereas this one has an opening here, and you can adjust this to tighten it onto the fabric so that the fabric stays on nice and tight. And so while you're sewing, stitching, and doing your needlework, it stays nice and tight and does not warp. So your design looks really pretty when you pop this off. And I got so excited about this, and I didn't finish at the workshop, but I finished at home, and I was so excited. And I said, I want to share this with the people. I want to share this with my students. And so I'm going to be working on simplifying stitches and making it easy for students to do with a larger needle, of course. So the needle that students use is this size. It's just a regular craft needle. It is about 2 inches long, and it's metal, and it has a very big eye at the top. The eye is the opening there where you will place the yarn inside. And I used a smaller needle for this right here. So we'll be using a needle. You'll need a pair of scissors. And I'm going to push this to the side. Now you can see all the marks on my desk where I make art every day, and I just don't want the desk to get dirty. So I've started on a piece of burlap with some stitches. I've started with just a basic running stitch. So I'm doing something rather symmetrical, even though this piece of burlap is crooked. It's crooked. I have tons of yarn, and is this the same pink? I think so. I have tons of yarn, so I've cut a few lengths of yarn, not too long, so that I can show you just how I do a running stitch. So this is going to be like a little sampler. I'm just going to create a design of some sort. I like burlap because it's easy to use. So wait, let me show you that again, because I'm just talking and doing this. I take the needle and I hold it with my hand near the eye, and I hold the yarn at the very, very tip of my thumb and pointer finger, and I squeeze it tight and wiggle until it gets through. So once it gets through, I just leave about an inch over there at the end, and I hold and wrap around my finger on my left hand because I'm right-handed. But I just wrap around my finger. Then I pull the loop off. I pull the loop off and take the end, the little tail end, and tuck it through the loop. And then I pull. And that secures the yarn onto the needle, and it rarely comes off. I don't do a double knot because I don't feel it needs to be that tightly on there, but just a regular knot. Pull it tightly, and let's do the running stitch. So when you look at a running stitch, it just looks like a dotted line or dashes like the markings on the street or just lines on paper. I'm going to start and I'm going to come in from the back. So I just put my hand under. This burlap is loosely weaved. You can sort of see through it. So let's see. Can you see my scissors through here? No? Yeah, a little bit. You can see a little shine in there. You can sort of see through this. So I'm going to pull it up through, wiggle through past that knot. And I'm just going to pull until I get that end really close. And then I'm just going to hold it. I'm going to hold that part with my finger. And then I'm going to push down through, and my finger's underneath there, but I move it out of the way. This needle is not going to poke you and make your finger bleed. You have to be doing something really wrong for that to happen. So I go under and then I come back up, and I'm under, I go under, and I push back through to the front. So I do that about 3 or 4 times, and pull, pull. I'm still holding in the back that little piece at the beginning where I started, and then gently pull and then stop. Okay, so there's my running stitch. It's going, it's running along the edge, taking a jog. So it was out, so now I'm going to go back in through the back and then poke it up to the front. And that's what I do. It's just like a wiggle. Okay, let me turn it sideways like this. Push it down, push it up. All right, so I did that about 3 times down through the back. Do a little wiggle, 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 pull, pull, pull. Now I'm not holding it in the back anymore because it's already in there. So I carefully go. Okay. Halfway across, I'm going to push it back in. And I like to just push out through the back, and then just a little ways back in, I come back up. Because I don't want all of the beautiful color to show on the back side. I want it to show on the front. So if you notice, when you look at this, let me point with a pencil. When you look at this, and that pencil's broken. When you look at this right here, you'll see the needle and then just a little bit of fabric and then a bigger section of the needle and then a little bit of the fabric. I do it that way because I want the yarn to show. I don't want it to be that it's just a bunch of the burlap showing. Sorry, sometimes when I'm doing things, I get stuck in the middle of a sentence. All right, that's pretty much straight across, and I'm going to keep going, keep going, keep going to the end, and when I get to the end, I just push out the back, and then give it a pull, and voila. And then what I'll do is I'll flip it over, and I'll cut close to the end, but not super close. Like that. So that little piece is hanging out, and that's okay. So now I'm done with that, and you can see I just created a really nice border. It's a little crooked, the fabric's a little crooked, but that's okay. Sometimes if you tie your knot and if it's not on too tight, you could just pull off and your needle is free. So that's the running stitch. It's easy peasy, a lemon squeezy. When I come back, I'll show you a different type of stitch. But like I say, art makes you smart. We'll try it again next time. Bye.